This podcast is brought to you in part by PNP Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 2 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Let's get started.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Bonus Stage Podcast. This is episode number 38, recording this not on July 19th, on Friday, the 2nd of April, 2013. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me this week, as almost always, Jeff Ward.
Yeah, now you can actually say almost always.
I can.
Because I missed one.
Yeah, last episode, we had a guest fill-in.
Yeah, did a good job, by the way. I like that. I think it's the first podcast I've ever heard with him, and I went and seeked out his other stuff because he was funny. I liked right at the beginning that he had to get in a baseball rip on me, and that was fine.
You should have seen the
quite funny.
You should have seen the chat room.
I'm sure it was blowing up
with good.
Just hatred.
It was
just vitriol.
Why do you let that guy come back? Like, just keep this guy. This guy can make all the jokes about baseball, but he's not serious. There was a lot of hate. It was funny.
Yeah,
it was humorous. Jeff, how the hell are you?
I've been better. I'm very, very, very tired. As you probably see if you're watching this on the live stream right now, I've been working.
You normally look like a zombie though, so it's kind of tough to really.
That's true. That's true. So. Well, then maybe I'm fine.
Have you been bitten by anybody recently? Like, did you take public transit?
No, I've never taken public transit.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been bitten recently, but maybe I'm just coming down off the effects of being bitten. You know, used to take the bus when I was going to school.
Could be. Maybe there's a lot of ankle biters there. Maybe.
That are, what the hell are we talking about right now?
I have no idea.
This show has now just ground straight to a halt.
No, only when you point it out has it ground straight to.
I have to point it out so that the viewers know that we know.
All right then. All right. Well, let's get into the show. As we said at the top of the show, this show and others on the network are sponsored in part by PNP Games. Awesome shop. I'm in love with their shop. In fact, I go there and I buy stuff all the time. My wife hates it when I go there now because I spend so much money. So check it out, pnpgames.com. If you're local to Winnipeg, I know we have a lot of local Winnipeg listeners. Go check it out if you haven't already. But if you're not in Canada or Manitoba, you can check them out at pnpgames.com. They have an outstanding website that's been updated with so many classic games. So if you're looking for something from the NES or the Super Nintendo or the Virtua Boy or Sega Saturn, you name it, they got stuff for you. So go check them out. pnpgames.com.
They did actually, because PNP, I wouldn't say always, but I have never seen them not have a booth at Comic-Con. But they had a Virtual Boy there a while ago, a few years ago, I think, and they had the entire library of Virtual Boy games except for one, and I believe it was like Mario Tennis or something like that. So that was pretty interesting to see. I saw on their Facebook today that they have Resident Evil 3 Nemesis on the PS1, the original disc, at their McLeod store, and it took everything that I had not to go over there and get it. It was only like $20, so.
That's it? You should have went and picked it up.
It's fairly cheap. I mean, it's not like it's a rare game or anything. It's fairly easy to find, but it's a popular game, so it doesn't stay in stock long. I figured that by the time I got down there, it probably would be gone. So it's quite a long drive for me in this area of the city. But yeah. Anyway, let's get on with this show here.
All right, well, let's get into it.
If I remember how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even remember what time to show up. Like
I didn't. I really was sitting here. And I'm like, it's quarter after. I'm like, where the hell is Lloyd? What's going on? And I'm
Jeff
like,
texts me. He's like, "Where the hell are you?" I'm like, what?
that's what I said. Yeah,
He's
I
like,
said,
"You
"Where the hell are
ass,
you?"
where the hell are you? I'm waiting here, and you're leaving me high and dry." And I was like, "I don't. You're. Am I the right person you're texting? Was this meant for someone else? Maybe."
If you guys think I swear on the show, you haven't seen nothing.
Yeah, it autocorrect has a field day with his texts. It's it's amazing.
I work that phone overtime.
I mean, you texted me and you're like, "Oh, are we doing a show tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just after 9, and we don't meet till 9:30." He's like, "Oh, I thought it was 9:00."
Yeah, I just for whatever reason I thought it was 9:00. I don't know what the hell's going on with my brain.
You need to get some sleep, is what the problem is.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a while, so maybe I should.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the show. Jeff, what have you been playing recently? It's been about 3 months, so you got a lot of stuff to chat about, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it has been 3 weeks, and I have been playing a ton. First on the list is Animal Crossing. I don't play it every day, and I do have a little bit of a gripe with Animal Crossing, but I don't think it is a gripe that anyone should take seriously. It's basically, to really get the most out of Animal Crossing, you kind of have to play it every day to really get into it, and I can't do that. I don't have enough time to devote to play this game. It bothers me that if I don't show up for a couple of days, there's hippos and monkeys and shit coming to my door, and they're like, "Hey, where have you been? Where have you been?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" They get mad at me for not hanging around, and it's.
Well, you're supposed to love them. You promised to love them by becoming their mayor.
I did not. That is not.
That was part of. Did you not read the contract that you signed when you became mayor of your city?
I had text speed on fast, and I must have clicked through it. But I mean, it's a really great game. I just I can't devote as much time as I think that game wants me to. It's a strange game that I think would probably do really, really well with DLC content, but I don't know if they would ever put stuff like that in that game.
Why would you need DLC? The game is huge.
I know the game is huge, but eventually someone's going to run out of stuff to do. And that's a game where if they introduce new items for pay, premium stuff, people would pay for it. I mean, they could make a fortune just selling DLC items.
Yeah, I
they don't necessarily need it, but it would be, coveted there.
I talked about this. I don't know if it was on the show. Maybe it was on Nintendo Pulse, but there was one of the blogs I follow. Someone was basically posting weekly updates on their Wii U or their Wii version of Animal Crossing, and they posted something every week for 2 years. And when New Leaf came out, they basically posted a big article about them going around and saying bye to all of their villagers and stuff. So you could play this game easily for years, and there's still stuff to do, and there's still content, and there's still things that you have to do. I mean, that's the beauty part about this game is for me, every morning I spend about a half hour and I go do my dailies in there, and then if I get
do you play every day?
I play every day. I've played every day since it's come out. At least a half hour. Because that's how long it takes me to dig up all the fossils, buy all the great items from the stores, talk to people, water any flowers that are dying that I want to keep going for crossbreeding, all the stuff that I want to do daily. I do it, and it takes about a half hour. Sinister's asking me, do I shake all the trees? And no, I do not shake all the trees.
See, I find the money rock, I find the gem rock.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit there and shake trees all day. I'll dig up the fossils. And
I think I played 4 hours straight last weekend. I was
4 hours straight.
Yeah, because my battery died. And I was like, oh, I guess I've been playing for about 4 hours because the battery lasts about 4 hours.
Lord.
Yeah, it was just I was waiting to do some stuff, and I did everything that I had to do here. Yeah, Quacko says I shake all the trees and my ass at the same time. Yep. So I
working a New Leaf.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's my new money track coming out.
I can't. 4 hours. Carly plays it a lot more than I do. She plays it every day religiously. From her computer room today, I hear her say, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but that sleeping guy in the recycle shop. Mm-hmm. She's like, hey, he woke up. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What the hell are you? She's like, I'm playing Animal Crossing. And the guy woke up. And I'm like, oh, okay, what does he give you? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah, he allows you to recolor items, so you can
cool.
You can reupholster different furniture with different colored stuff. And
see, you told me that if you go and talk to that one of those Mabel sisters or whatever, the one who's always at the sewing machine, 10 days in a row, she'll give you that thing where you can do the QR code.
Yep.
I found on the Animal Crossing QR code Reddit or subreddit that there is a Jose Bautista Blue Jays jersey.
Hey,
and I'm like, well, I got to get that.
You can't see the video right now, I guess, but did you see on Twitter I posted myself in a Jets jersey that I did?
No, I didn't.
I'll
check it out.
I did a full Jets jersey, so I'm wearing a full Jets outfit. So I have dark blue pants, I have light blue shoes, I have the full Jets jersey, and now my face I'm wearing a bandage and stuff. So I look like a hockey player that just got in a fight. And
that's cool.
And that was part of my 4-hour playing Animal Crossing.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, you can play it as much or as little as you want. I mean, it's a game that if you play a half hour a day, you're doing good.
Yeah, and so my goal was, okay, I got to play 10 days in a row, which I didn't. I think I maybe played 10 or 12 days in a row when I first got the game from PNP, and I got to day number 2, and then I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to play this game today. I just don't. So now I'm going to get Carly to go and get it for me. I sent her the link on Reddit. She's going to get it for me and then send it to me in the mail. Because I can't be bothered to play every single day. And I don't think that's a gripe really against the game. I don't think that makes the game a bad game. Just for me personally, I can't devote that kind of time to it. It's just...
you don't have a half hour every day to do stuff?
Well, you know what? I'd like to do something else with that half hour some days, like it's just like I'm sitting there, editing or rendering, and I'm like, I've got a bunch of other games to play. Do I really want to go and play Animal Crossing and dig holes? Not today.
Yeah,
it's fun, but I just don't want to do it today.
I mean, it's a game that you can make as much fun as you want. So if you don't like it, you don't play it that day. I mean,
yeah,
that's the
and I think
beauty thing about it.
I have not yet gone into anyone else's town, and I think I'm missing a big part of the game by not experiencing that part.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But anyway, I do really like the game. That Jets jersey is pretty cool. See, if I had the artistic ability or the inclination to try something like that, I might. But I don't, and I don't.
Yeah,
I won't.
Did it all by hand. There's the back of it. You can't read it very well, but it says lad, and it has his number 16 on it.
Oh, that's cool. See, I did make like a jersey because very easily you can write your like I just wrote Ward and then number 19. That was easy to do. But on the front, I'm like, I got nothing. So I just made it blue. I'm looking at my iPhone and I see the Blue Jays logo and I'm like, I can't do that. I just can't do that.
Well,
I'm not going
to guesstimate it. You have to kind of look at it on your figure. Because it shows the shirt spinning as you're doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I mean, you make of it what you will. I mean, it's not a game that you have to play every day. Like, you're not missing anything by not doing that. You're not.
Can you not wear your hat forward in that game if you're wearing a baseball hat?
You can get a hat that is forward or a hat that is backwards. So
See,
it depends on the hat that you get.
Also, another thing that really bothers me, and maybe I'm just missing something that maybe I don't have to go through it, but and I understand it's a Nintendo game, and Nintendo will never grow up, and this is going to be the way they are forever, and they have to hold your hand through everything. But going into stores and having that person talk to you, stop your progress, tell you a bunch of crap, and then as soon as you leave, they talk to you again and say goodbye. I hate that. It bothers the hell out of me.
You're supposed to generate a relationship with these people. Like that's the
I
whole point of it.
I don't care about Tommy Nook. Just give me my bells, give me the cool stuff, and let me go.
See, you're a cold, heartless bastard, so maybe Animal Crossing isn't for you.
See, and that's why I went for...
You need, like, complainer... You need, like, what is it? Angry Cat Crossing. And that would be... So all it is angry cats and grumpy cats. And
Carly is... she's, like, planting flowers in the town, and she's making pathways and stuff with patterns. And I've like trampled a couple of her flowers by accident because I'm running all over the place, right? I'm like, I don't care if all my grass is dirt. I'm gonna run.
Ain't got no time for that.
Exactly. And she's like, stop trampling my flowers. And she's like she's almost becoming OCD about it. It's very funny.
Well, if you plant certain flowers beside each other, they crossbreed and you get different like colors and
stuff. Which she has told me. And she's like, if you trample one of my rare flowers, I will kill you.
Yeah.
She's actually written bulletins on the bulletin board inciting a coup against me as the mayor.
Oh wow, it's
insane.
You should give up your mayoralship and let her take over. Maybe she's.
I kind of wish I could kick people out of my town. I think that would be cool.
You can.
You can?
Yeah, you can.
I bet I can't kick her out though.
No. Well, dude, your internet is dying again.
Is it audio wise?
Yeah, like everything wise.
Everything.
All right. Well, let's continue. What else you been playing?
Yeah, so
besides Animal
I've
Crossing.
been playing Where's My Water? Through the, I think it was like the 5-year anniversary of the App Store or something. They gave away a bunch of free apps, and Where's My Water is one of them. I've become addicted to it. I don't know if you've played it, but it's a fantastic little puzzle game.
Yep.
You just like draw little lines in the dirt and make water go to an alligator who's dirty, and it's a ton of fun. I've been playing it a lot and really, really like it. Also been playing. So there's a bunch of these weird simulator games all over the the ether, and one of the ones I've wanted to play for a long time is Euro Trucking Simulator, where you are a long haul truck driver and you're driving across Europe and you're picking up stuff and taking it to a destination.
So let me get this right. You don't have a half hour to play Animal Crossing, a fun, lovable, joyous game, but you want to be a virtual long haul trucker in a simulator.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not that I don't have a half hour. It's that some days I want to use that half hour for something else. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, on the Vita, they have Farming Simulator. And I'm a big Animal Crossing fan, so I picked up that demo on the Vita, and I've been playing that, and it's shit. So don't play it. It's extremely boring. The controls are terrible. It looks like garbage. It really is one of the most disappointing demos I've ever played. I've also been playing Forza Motorsport 4. Picked that up few weeks ago from PNP. Love that game. I'm going to review it later in the show. Also been playing Mass Effect 3. I finally downloaded and played the Omega and the Citadel DLC. So I'm going to review those a little bit later in the show. Really had a lot of fun with that. And then the last thing I'm playing this week, which is a game I picked up this week from PNP, is MLB 2K13. I wanted to play the only other baseball game made for the consoles. And give that a shot. So I'm going to review that next week. I've had some time with it, really enjoying it, but it is a really poorly built game, and it's got a lot of glitches and some weird stuff. And but it's fun, and I'm having some fun with it. Probably because it's just out and out easy.
Right.
But yes, it is. I am talking about an MLB game. It's been a while, but this is a different one, so it's okay. But yeah, I've been playing a ton this week, and that's it. What about you, Lloyd?
Nice. I'm playing a lot, actually. Of course, Animal Crossing, we already talked about that. The week that we didn't do a show, I picked up Metro Last Light and tried playing through it. And it was a little bit janky at the start. I know you reviewed it like a couple months ago or whatever, a month ago, whatever it was. The controls and everything was a little bit janky to start. Like I was getting caught on seams between like floorboards and rocks and pieces of grass, and I think there was like a dust bunny, and it was stopping me from stepping forward. Like the controls were kind of just wonky. And then I got past that and I got into the game, and I really dug it. It was a lot of fun. It was it was fun to meet people, to hear their conversations just happening in the background, to shoot many people right in the face, and take all their stuff. Like it was a fun game. And then I got to this one point where you're supposed to cross this swamp. And as I'm making my way across the swamp, there's these demon creatures. They're like big flying gargoyle-like things. And one of the things they do is they pick you up and then they throw you. And this one guy picked me up and he threw me, but he threw me into the outside of the level, so out of bounds. And I was stuck in this like little tiny triangle. It was like I was in jail for shooting too many people in the face, and trying to get out. And then I moved a little bit, and then I ended up falling through the ground. And I was like, oh, okay. So reload my save game, and it reloads me basically right there, right in the same place where
That's
I
awful.
couldn't get out. So I'm sitting there and I'm shooting the demons to try to get their attention, so they'd pick me up and throw me somewhere else. But after about 10 tries, they would just throw me backwards, and then I'd land in the exact same place, basically. So pretty much I hit a game-breaking bug. I couldn't progress, and I got so angry that I almost threw my controller. And I talk about that a lot, about joking. It's like, oh yeah, I was so mad I threw my controller. I almost threw my controller. Like I screamed out loud. I was so angry because this basically ruined like hours and hours and hours of play, and there's nothing I could do about it. So I took the game out, put it in its case, and returned it, and did not touch it again after that. I was really disappointed with the game-breaking bugs. Next game that I picked up after that, which I'm going to be reviewing in this episode, is I finally picked up a copy of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is awesome, and I can't wait to talk about it in a little bit, so we'll get into that. But I played a lot of that, which was really, really fun. What else? I picked up a game on my iPad, which is called Rimmed Capsule. And it's an independent title, and it's basically like a super minimalistic, kind of like a strategy building game where you're basically trying to build your base to protect your people from attacks. And the point of the level is to basically take over and study 4 monoliths that are existing outside on the on the game. So you build different corridors, and basically you build things by tetronomos. So like you're playing Tetris, so you get like the little S pieces and the L pieces and the big lines and the squares. So you don't know what pieces, or you don't get to choose what pieces. You just have at the top left hand corner, it shows you what the next piece is going to be, and then you get to choose whether it's going to be just a corridor or if it's going to be one of the other kind of buildings that you can build. So there's basically there's mines. They mine this purple crystal, so you have to place it right near the purple crystal, but it then also has to be touching a corridor. There's ones for energy, for blue little squares, which are the energy. There's kitchens, there's farms, there's barracks, there's weapon shops, but they're all just basically little Tetris blocks that you're placing out, and you're dragging them out with your finger, and you basically create more guys by making a farm and then building barracks, and then in the farm you process the food, stuff you grow, the sludge in the kitchen, it turns to food in the kitchen, and then you take those things to the barracks, and then it grows more guys. And then right at the bottom of the screen you have this progress meter, and when it gets to the end, that's a complete wave has passed, and then you get attacked. So you're basically building, looking at your resources, doing resource management, trying to stray out as far as you can, bring guys in, putting them in the battles, into the battle areas, the weapon areas, so they can fend off the enemies. Once the enemies are gone, you're building some more, doing it, basically in a big circle until you get far enough in the game where the waves come so fast and furious that you pretty much have to have an exact perfect layout, otherwise you die. So the whole point of the game is to take over the 4 monoliths, to do it in under 45 minutes, and to survive 28 waves. So those are your 3 goals. And in about a dozen playthroughs, I haven't completed any of those goals yet because you basically get to about the 1 hour mark in the game and it just kicks your ass. But you learn a little bit, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe if I did this, it would go better. Maybe if I focused all my buildings over here, or if I took things down and placed them over here. So much fun. Super minimalistic. The controls on the iPad are really great. It's also available on the Vita. I believe it's on the PC as well. You can fast forward time by just touching the screen with 3 fingers. It's $3.99. It is by far worth that in my books. It is such a fun, quirky, awesome little independent title. I really dig it. Sinister, yeah, it is kind of like a hybrid RTS tower defense, sort of. You're not really building towers, you're building areas to defend your base. So it's kind of like a base defense, sort of, more than a tower defense. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that. Sinister in the chat room posted a question for us. So, but yeah, it's really good. It's Rimmed Capsule, RYMDKAPSASEL. It's $4 on the iOS App Store, and it's really, really good. So check that one out if you have an iPad. Other stuff, I've been playing a lot of games with my kids. What I did I guess it was about 9 months ago or something. There was a local store that was basically shutting down their game section because they were renovating. So they wanted to get rid of all their old stock to bring new stuff in. So I bought a whole pile of like kids games and movie themed games. So I got like Iron Man 2, I got Megamind, I got Green Lantern. So games I wouldn't ever buy for $60, but I was buying them for like $8 or $10. But I hadn't really played any of them. So this week I decided to basically crack a few of them open with my son and play through some of the games. And you know what? I found kids games and movie license games are an achievement or trophy hunter's like wet dream. I basically found out that you can platinum Megamind in 3 hours. So you play through the game, get all the achievements or all the trophies in 3 hours, then you get a platinum trophy. So I would let my kids play, and they were having fun. And then when they went to bed for the night, I'd come down and I'd mop up the last few trophies. Did that with a couple other games, and then I put in Transformers: Dark of the Moon because I was looking through a list of games that are pretty short for getting platinums. So we were playing it together, and then when the kids went to bed, I was going and scraping up a few more trophies. And then I was like, oh yeah, I got to get the 4 online trophies. So I went in and tried to get online. There are absolutely no players playing online in that game. And I was like,
Ghost
oh,
town.
denied. So I got to find some way to get a bunch of people that own that game. So Transformers: Dark of the Moon on PlayStation 3, to maybe have a meetup one night where we just go and we just grind out those 4 trophies. Apparently it's really quick because they've increased all the XP generation. So basically 2 matches and you basically level up to like level 20. So they made it really easy for people to do, but I can't do it because no one's playing. And I was so frustrated because I spent a lot of time on some of the hard trophies getting them. And then I was like, okay, well tonight I'm going to get these ones. And it's like, damn it, denied. So I'm going to check tomorrow night, maybe on a Saturday, maybe some people are online playing, but yeah, as far as it goes right now, I'm probably not going to be able to platinum that one, but I got a bunch of other games which are good.
All licensed games are like that because the developers have no time to put into like
Totally.
creative achievements. They're like, well, if you beat the game, that's good enough.
Well, they're either like that or they swing 100% the other way where they're almost impossible to platinum or get all the achievements because they're just either they're busted, they're glitchy achievements. Like I know some of the games that I own, I would never be able to platinum because there's achievements or trophies that are impossible to get because they just put out and they're glitchy and they don't care because they made their money making this licensed game. So yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been having fun just playing a lot of things on a lot of different consoles. Really dug Metal Gear Rising though. I really kind of dug it. So I can't wait to do the review later in this episode.
Cool.
All right, man, let's get into new releases. So a lot of stuff. Yes to your question, Jeff.
Both?
Yeah. So we have a couple new releases. A game came out called Cloudberry Kingdom, and it's basically it's like the 7 layers of hell wrapped up in a bright and shiny, colorful, super happy candy coating. Essentially, it's a game similar to say like a Super Meat Boy, where it's a super tricky platformer, and you have to have perfect perfect control of your character at all times, and it's like split second decisions. Basically will either be death or you making it later in the in the episode, or later in the game rather. So yeah, not my cup of tea, but if it is yours, definitely check it out. I hate hating myself when I play games, and games like that make me kind of hate myself because I keep dying over and over and over and over and over and over again. A couple other games. Take on Mars came out on PC, so if you're into PC gaming, you want to check that one out. Bioshock Infinite, the first DLC came out. Clash in the Clouds for the PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. And this is the first of the 3 planned DLCs that they've announced. And what they're doing with this one is it's essentially it's like a horde mode almost, where you have basically rooms where enemies spawn, and then between rounds you get to go stock up and see what happens with all your weapons. Use the money that you've gained from that to get more weapons. I haven't picked it up yet. I have the season pass on this one, so I'm gonna do it eventually. It's just other things have come in the way. Doesn't really clue me in, or it's not really something that I want to play. I'm not feeling it, so I don't know how much I'm going to actually like it. But anyway, Bioshock Infinite Clash in the Clouds DLC came out this week.
This one was a free DLC, right?
Nope.
No? Didn't they released a free DLC, if I'm not mistaken?
Maybe.
I thought they did. I can't. I
don't think so.
I heard something.
This is the only DLC they've released, and I don't believe it's free. I hope it's not, because I paid for the online pass, and I'm only getting 3 pieces of DLC, and this is one of them. So
let me just search real quick.
But yeah, it's there you go. I think it is $10, but or it's $4.99. So it is $5.
$4.99. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's available right now. Black Ops 2 Vengeance DLC came out on the PlayStation 3 and the PC.
Yeah, finally, for those guys who've been waiting for a month.
Yep. Pixel Junk Monsters, the Ultimate Collection HD, has come out on PlayStation Vita. So if you haven't played Pixel Junk Monsters yet on your Vita, you might want to go check that one out. It's a really great game. Serious.
If you just don't have anything to play on the Vita.
Yeah, well, that too. And this Sunday, Pikmin 3 comes out. So check it out if you're into the Pikmans and throwing them at things and eating fruit. I'm going to be picking it up next week, and I cannot wait to play it. It's going to be a good one.
Have you played the other two?
Yeah, I have.
I've only ever played the first one.
I played a lot of the first one. I played a little bit of the second one. And yeah, I'm looking forward to picking up this one and checking it out and see what it's all about.
And blowing the dust off of your Wii U.
Yeah, that too. 'Cause definitely
That's an unfortunate sentence if it didn't have a U at the end of that.
Yes. That is probably good that you qualified that a little bit. All right, well, let's take a small break. We'll see if Jeff can get his audio video cleared up a little bit. Let's take a small little music break. Let's listen to some Mega Man medley from the Super FX album Press Start, which just came out a couple weeks ago. So I'll give you a couple minutes of that while Jeff works on his internet connection, and we'll be back after that. So see you in a couple minutes. All right, so that was, as I said, the Mega Man 2 medley from the Super FX album. called Press Start. Just came out a couple weeks ago. If you like that song and you want to hear more of it and other tracks like it, the full 15-track album is available on Bandcamp. I'll post a link in the show notes, and you can check it out for $10. It is an amazing, amazing album. So definitely go check that one out if you like what you hear. All right, so we're going to get into the rest of the show. Jeff's out. I think he shot his router and he's out burying it in the backyard and driving down to buy another one. So he's basically looking to fix his problems with his computer. So hopefully that will happen while I do my review, and then he'll just reappear magically through the power of the internet on the show. So let's jump into my review. So as I said at the top of the show, I picked up a copy of the game Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance for the PlayStation 3. This one came out a little while ago. I guess it was in February, something like that. I want to say maybe end of February, start of March. So it's been out for a while, and it's one that I always wanted to play. I even downloaded the demo, and I actually didn't even play the demo. So it's been one of those ones where I just want to play it, and it just never happened. So I found a used copy finally and picked it up, and I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really think I would like it or hate it. I didn't really know what I would be thinking about this one, but I wanted to check it out anyway. This game was, of course, set in the Metal Gear universe. You play Raiden, the cyborg ninja, and it's not just a Kojima Productions game. It's actually being developed by Platinum Games as well. So that's a company that's been around for a while. I mean, they've done Vanquish, Bayonetta, Mad World. They're coming out with the wonderful 101 on the Wii U. So I love all of their games pretty much. So I knew I was going to like this game. And it didn't disappoint at the end of the day, which was a really nice thing. So you play Raiden, and you have a sword, and you use that sword to cut things. So the whole point of this game, the whole big selling point for this game is the cut mechanics. So you can basically cut anything in the game, not anything, but certain objects that are highlighted. You can basically cut them into little chunks. Like I was doing something. I was showing my son Nick a bit of the game, not the crazy violent parts, but some of the other ones. And there's this big pile of like shipping containers, and I ended up cutting it down to a fine confetti. And I think my cut meter, like as you're cutting things, it shows you how many parts you made. I think I made like 2,500 parts just by chopping it up with my sword. It's crazy. There's Jeff. He's back. And that's one of the fun mechanics in the game. So basically, as I said, you play Raiden, and you're making your way through a world where you're not really part of the Metal Gear crew anymore. You're not following Solid Snake. You're basically a PMC for hire, and you have aligned with a particular country. And then what you do is you find out that something happens, someone does something really nasty, and then you try to hunt them down for a little bit of revenge or revengeance, I guess, since the made-up word that they use in the title. And that's basically the start of the game. The game has you go through, I think, 7 levels, and filled with ridiculous cutscenes, ridiculous vocal work. The voiceover is just redonkulous. The end boss fight is stupid, which if you've played Metal Gear games, you feel exactly right at home playing this game. It is just asinine enough to be awesome. And the fact that Platinum Games has developed this one, you basically are running and gunning the whole time, running and chopping the whole time. And you can play the game stealthy if you want, but there's something about getting into a battle with an enemy, doing enough damage, seeing different parts of them glow blue, and then putting it into your cut mode and basically chopping off an arm, and then stepping back, and then see him trying to attack you with one arm, and then chopping the other arm off, and then see him running at you and trying to kick you, and then you cut a leg off, and then he's laying on the ground, and then you like chop him into a bunch of other pieces. And it's just like, this is awesome. They're all cyborgs, so it's not like crazy gore or whatever, but it's it's awesome. Everything about this game is a lot of fun. You can pick it up now in stores for about $30, and it's definitely worth that. As I said, there's about 7 levels that you go through, different difficulties as you make your way through the game. I played on normal. There's hard, and then there's 2 additional modes. So if you want to actually play and get all the achievements or all the trophies, you're going to be playing this game a lot. The good thing about this game is you can play through multiple times, upgrading your character as you go along, so you can keep all of your upgrades. So future playthroughs get easier. You can replay chapters, all that type of stuff. It is so much fun, and like other Metal Gear games, it has its tongue firmly planted in its cheek most of the times. The things they say are just like, did you really say that? But they're doing that for a reason. I mean, that's how all of the games are awesome. Sinister in the chat room is asking, did I play the demo? No, I didn't actually play the demo. It's one that I downloaded and I wanted to get to, but I just never did. And then like 3 months later, I find the game and I pick it up and then I play the game and I loved it. So yeah,
the demo has actually made me not want to play it. Like, I hated the demo so much.
I've heard that from a lot of people, actually. Yeah, a lot of people have said the exact same thing. So maybe it's a good thing that I didn't play the demo.
Probably.
But yeah, the game is fun. Your main movement, you can just walk around, of course, but you can go into ninja run mode. So it's almost like you're playing like a Ninja Gaiden game where you're basically running and jumping over small obstacles, and it's great. But my only complaint about this game is the camera is kind of stupid in some places. So when an enemy's attacking you, you can block most of the attacks by hitting the stick towards the attack. So if it's coming from your left, you hit the stick left and then you hit the attack button. And if you time it perfectly, you'll parry the attack. Well, there's times when the enemies will be jumping around and then they're behind you and you can't actually see an attack happening and you can't spin the camera around fast enough to catch it. So one of the boss battles in particular, there's this guy who he'll run up to you, he'll do a 4-stage attack and then basically jump past you and then do some more attacks. But if he hits you, then it's like this attack that takes like 30% of your life away. So I played that battle multiple times, and not because I wasn't good at the game. It was just the camera was fighting with me, and I had to basically jump to different areas of the stage so I could kind of almost corral him into an area so I could keep the camera in a place where I could actually parry all the moves and stuff like that. So the camera was pretty nasty. The rest of the game was awesome. The story was good. The action was good. The stealth was fun. Playing through, collecting all of the hidden items and things if you want is great. You can even hide in a box, and they make jokes about, what? You're hiding in a box? How can they not see you in that? And then you find out that it's actually a cryogenically lined cardboard box used for transporting. I think it's like kidneys or something. It's like, oh, well, that makes sense. I guess that jams out their radar. And so they're making fun of like all the tropes of Metal Gear, while having such a great game. And sorry, Sinister, it's spoilers, sorry. But yeah, it's so much fun. So yeah, you fight against normal people, big guys with huge hammers, the 2-legged walkers that sound like cows, a whole bunch of different enemies. And every time that you face one of the bosses, you just see how absolutely crazy these bosses are, and the boss battles are just amazing to take part in as well. So yeah, Metal Gear Rising. Platinum Games did a really amazing job. I'm really looking forward to Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U. I actually going back and playing one of their older games that I got on PlayStation Plus called Vanquish, and going through and playing that one as well. And that's a lot of fun as well. So yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about it. It's a 3-month-old game. You can pick it up new for about $30 to $40 now. Definitely worth it at that price. Even if you didn't like Metal Gear, this really isn't a Metal Gear game. It's kind of like this weird mix of a really good hack and slash, beat 'em up platformer type game, set in the Metal Gear universe. Looks good, sounds good. The story is just crazy, but in the best possible way. So yeah, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I highly recommend it. It's a really, really fun game. I'm really glad I played it. So do check that out and look at one of Platinum Games' best games that have come out in the last little while.
It's on the cheap now too, right? Like it's less than $30. It's like 27.
I said that
like
multiple times.
Yeah.
Are you not listening, Jeff? Come on now.
I was gone for half of the review, and then I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it's like you can pick it up like new for about $30 or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, 30 to 40. So it's definitely worth it at that price, and you can probably get it used for 20.
I have to assume that the demo is much different than the final game.
I think the demo was focusing mostly on the cut mode, and you really don't have to use the cut mode that often in the game. Like you can. Yeah. What you do is like when you're playing the game and you want to get some life back, because you have a life bar, and then you also have your energy bar, which you when you go into cut mode and stuff, your energy bar depletes, and once it's gone you can't go into cut mode. But if you hurt an enemy enough, so he's glowing blue or he's kind of staggered, if you go into cut mode you'll see this little square, and if you manage to cut that area precisely, you can hit a button to basically plunge your hand into his body and rip out his spine. But it's not his spine, it's like a cybernetic spine. It's like glowing blue, and then you crush it, and then your body absorbs all the nanomachines that are in his body, and then you use that to instantly get all your energy and health back. So you'll be in boss battles and you'll be running around almost dead, waiting for enemies to spawn so you can kill them in such a way that you can then cut them open, grab their spine, and regain all your health, and then jump back and fight the boss. So it's a lot of fun. The demo, from what I understand, a lot of that stuff didn't actually happen. So it focused on cutting watermelons into paper thin slices, and I mean that's in the game, but that's not really what the game is. You can even like jump up and start stabbing helicopters. I mean, what game don't you want to play that has that in it? Yeah, Sinister said it sounds like Ninja Gaiden, and yeah, it's very much like a Ninja Gaiden, except not like crazy hard where you want to rip your controller into pieces hard. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So check it out. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I played it on the PlayStation 3, but it's available on Xbox 360 as well. All right, Jeff, you're about as bad as before, so we'll try to get through this really quick. How about you do your Forza review, and then we'll get into the news.
Yeah, sure. I'll save the other one for another time. So picked up Forza 4 a couple weeks ago, and I'm playing it. And like short form, this game is fantastic. It's every improvement on Forza Motorsport 3, which I finished every single race of that game in third place. Like basically did everything that I could possibly do, except for playing online, where you get destroyed by guys who like must be professional race car drivers in their off time or something. It's really a fantastic game. I think when it comes to racing games, they are maybe the best way to showcase the hardware of a console, because they have a direct one-to-one relationship with the real-world component of that vehicle. And in Forza 4, they're gorgeous. I mean, every car to and most of the cars to the most minor detail are perfected, and you can go inside in this thing called the Auto Vista and blow out the doors and look at everything, and they take you through what makes the Ferrari 408 really great, and it's really fantastic. The driving is basically the same game. It plays pretty much identical to Forza 3. It's a little bit tighter when it comes to braking and acceleration on the triggers on the controller, and when it comes to using your manual transmission, I think the gears shift a little bit better when you have that enabled on your controller. The maps look gorgeous. There's a bunch of new ones. They took out a couple of the older ones, which is unfortunate. There is a second install disc, which has like nearly 3 gigabytes of extra content that you can put into the game to have, these. I think there's something like, 60 or 65 different tracks to race on. One of the cool things about this game is that it is done in part with Top Gear from the UK. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that show, but the intro to the game is Jeremy Clarkson talking over some really fantastic car footage. You get to race on the Top Gear track all the time and do these events where you knock over bowling pins, or you have to get the best time through like this slalom. It's fantastic. I really, really love this game, but I don't think it's as well put together for people who just want to race. Forza 3 was better for a casual audience. This game is really hardcore simulation. You can dial down the difficulty so it plays a little more friendly, but it's not as easy to get into as Forza 3. But that shouldn't be a slight against it. I think this game is a game that's made for tuners and gearheads. That's why a year later they put out Forza Horizon, which is a much more arcadey game and easy for your everyday casual racing fan to get into. I guess it's their need for speed, really, when you get right down to it. This game makes me want to buy an Xbox One because I know Forza 5 is going to be great. But I'm going to still wait, a good year or so until I pick up something like that. But Forza Motorsport 4 exceeds the third game in the series by every standard you could possibly set. Forza 5 is an Xbox One launch title, which is pretty, I really want to play it, but I don't want to take the plunge on a $580 console when everything's said and done just to buy that game. But yeah, Forza Motorsport 4 is fantastic. There's new DLC coming out every week, new cars, new tracks, and you get a ton of stuff out of the box. It's fantastic. If you want a really good racing game, you can pick it up for $25 pretty much everywhere used. So it's going to be one of my favorite games of the last few years, and I'm a big racing fan, though, so I think maybe I'm a little bit biased on that. You've played the other Forza games, right, Lloyd?
I've played a few of them. I have the powered racing wheel for my 360.
Oh, okay.
I played
nicer experience.
Forza 2 and Forza 3, I think. I haven't played Forza 4. Yeah, it's fun. I like it. I used to love Gran Turismo way back in the day, and then Forza kind of took some of the crazy detail and made it a little bit easier, so you didn't have to know how to go and change the calipers on your vehicle and your wheel and your wheel angles and all this stuff. And it's just what, sometimes I just want to add something that adds horsepower, and then I go. I don't want to play with ratios for all my gearing and stuff.
I like doing those gear ratios. They did a really nice thing in this game where you can automate the computer to make the necessary adjustments for you to make your car a competitive car in its class. So you don't have to go in and buy and understand how this turbo is going to affect your car. You can have the computer optimize your car and its gear ratio and its tuning and its handling and all that kind of stuff for you, so that all you get to do is drive. So that is pretty nice, but I still like to go in there and tinker.
That's what I liked about Forza in comparison to the other game that I just said, Gran Turismo. Why did I just have a brain fart there? So Gran Turismo was just super hardcore. Forza still had that, but you didn't have to really play around with that. That's what I really liked about Forza, which is why I got the crazy racing wheel and played with that a lot. It's so stupid. I loved it so much that I even had a cinder block in my house just so I could put it right by where my pedals are, because the pedals slide. So I would have a cinder block in front of my pedals so my pedals wouldn't slide anymore. And it's okay, this game is good enough that I went and got a cinder block to put in my basement to play the game some more. So yeah, Forza's good. I should probably check out number 4, see how good it is, because I do like that franchise.
Yeah, it's cheap enough that it's not it's better than 3. I mean, that's all I can say is it's better than 3, but it's a little bit more simulation than 3. But the New York track where you're kind of racing through Times Square and it's just a straightaway, 90 degree straightaway, they took that track out, and that was one of my favorite ones. So that was the only thing that bummed me out about this game, was they took out one track that I really loved. It might be available as DLC, but I haven't checked.
Interesting. All right, man. That's your review?
Yes, my review is it's a fun game.
Cool. Do you want to take a break, or you want to get right into the news? I think
I can go right into the news.
The reviews were pretty quick, and your internet could fail at any possible second.
I don't think it'll fail, but it probably might get worse.
I find that
and
hard
it's funny,
to believe.
I did a speed test and everything's fine. Everything is fine. Ping is at 8 milliseconds.
Yeah, you gotta replace your router or change your cables or something. There's something definitely not cool.
Yeah,
not cool here.
It's frustrating.
All right, moving on. Let's get into the news. First up this week, on the, I guess, the end parts of a whole series of Xbox announcements. So they announced that that indie games are going to be available on the system because indies can now self-publish. And then they said, oh, for an industry first, you can now use any single console as a development kit. And it's like, well, that's not really an industry first. You can do that with the Vita. You can do that with an iPad, with an iPhone. If you don't consider those consoles, you can do that with the Ouya. So it's just like these weird worded press releases that they put out. And then they put out one about how we're going to make Xbox Live better, and we're going to do it by making you guys do all the work for us. So you guys are going to be doing peer reviews of all the people you play with for fun and rewards. And I was just like, what?
Which we've been doing for the last 10 years on Xbox.
But they never did anything with that data.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they're going to start doing stuff with the data, and I'm just like, what? It's getting like weird. Like the rabbit hole is going deeper and deeper. And
I remember when I first got my 360 and I got on live, and you have a 3-star rating, and that's your game rep. And Tom was like, well,
I'll just
give you a rating. Yeah, exactly. Well, he gave me a rating. He's like, I prefer this player. Immediately went to 5 stars. One rating that's like, yeah, this guy's okay.
Yeah.
And they were like,
scientific.
Here's the keys to the city. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That's very, very easy to get that.
It's fun. So anyway, today they released another interesting press release, and they said that the Xbox One is designed so tough. Well, actually, they didn't say it was so tough, but it's been designed to stay on running constantly for 10 years. That's what they designed it for. And I just kind of looked at that and I kind of shook my head. It's like, well, every console manufacturer wants that. They want their systems to last 10 years. Every piece of hardware you buy is engineered to last for as long as possible. None of them really do ever. And especially a console like the Xbox One, can you imagine how much power you're going to use in those 10 years, having it always on?
Like just the kilowatt hours alone, right?
Yeah,
like your hydro bill is just going to be
it's crazy.
insane.
It's crazy. Anyway, I'm not going to rag on Microsoft for this, but it's kind of like okay. That's what if you're worth your weight in development credit, that's what you do when you develop something. You want it to always be on and working for as long as possible. And most consoles have been designed to last for 8 to 10 years. So, all right, Microsoft, you're doing what you did last generation, except your Xbox red ringed.
Yeah, and that's why they put out this release, right? And last year, Microsoft's made 2 consoles, and the biggest one they've ever made has the highest failure rate in the first 3 years. I mean, it was insane. It was like over 75% of the consoles would red ring.
Yeah.
I had 2 that red ringed. It was nuts.
Well, it wasn't.
And they didn't really.
The thing is, it wasn't designed that way. It was designed obviously to last for as long as possible. But it didn't. Like my first Xbox, my original Xbox One, I have 2 of them. They still work. I can plug them in and they fire up and they work perfectly. My original Xbox died. My original Xbox 360 died, and then I got the one that had HDMI before it went to the Slim, and that one's still working, but it sounds like a small plane taking off. And it's like, okay, well, these are
even
supposed
the Slim I have right here is pretty loud.
Yeah, they're supposed to last, like they want them to last 8 years. That's what Microsoft has always said. Well, you can want it to do something, doesn't mean it's going to. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how long, like if there's going to be a blue button of death or something that will happen with all these consoles the failing, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was just like another weird press release in a long line of weird press releases and weird statements to the media. Like someone's gotta like get on top of Microsoft and really start. They got to get like PR handlers, and they got to really vet all the stuff they say, because some of the stuff is just so crazy. And this one's kind of like, hey, yeah, okay, sure, thanks. Don't think it was worth sending out a press release, but thanks.
My problem now is that I don't think that Microsoft is sending out these press releases, and they're not worthy of being read. It is news in a very minor way. It's strange that they're all separate. That it's like, why can't you just bundle this all together into one and give us it all at one time?
They're trying
I know
to
what
own,
they're trying to do.
They're trying to own the news cycle, is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and they're trying really for any kind of good press to be. But I think that we're being a little bit overcritical. Like we have to pick apart. Oh, new Microsoft announcement. I bet it's something stupid. Let's look, and then let's pick it apart until it is stupid. A press release today was, hey, our console, we know, the last one wasn't very good in terms of durability. This one, you can keep this sucker on for a decade straight and it won't go. We're like, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really worthy of my ears at this point. It'll be a little dot, mark on the back of the box when you buy the console. But, I don't think it's, I think we're being hypercritical of Microsoft because of how poorly it started out for them.
And I'm not actually being critical of this announcement at all. It's just,
I'm not talking about you.
It's a non-announcement. Like it didn't really even need to be said. It's one of those things where you release the console and then a report comes out that there's been no red rings, and that's when you come out and say, well, yeah, because we designed this thing to last on like fully powered and working for 10 years. So we're glad that it's doing what we designed it to do.
Every week, Microsoft sends an announcement that basically says, hey guys, just in case you didn't know, we have this new console coming out this year.
That's exactly what it is.
That's really what
they didn't have anything good to release this week, so that's the one bit of news that they had let out. The next week's press release is going to be, and we're letting you know today. We're very proud of this. Each console that we ship is going to have rubber feet on the bottom, so it doesn't mark up your entertainment center,
and a controller.
Yeah, that'll be their announcement for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. All right, moving on. Next up, Elder Scrolls Anthology. So Elder Scrolls games have been out for a while. I've played a hell of a lot of Skyrim. I played a lot of Oblivion. I played a lot of Morrowind. I didn't play so much Daggerfall and whatever came before it. But I love all those games. So this is crazy. Bethesda today at QuakeCon announced an anthology collection that has every single Elder Scrolls game coming to the PC in September. So it has...
And all the DLC.
So it has Elder Scrolls Arena, the first one. It has Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. It has Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind with the DLC Tribunal and Blood Moon. It has Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion with Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles. It has Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim with Dawnguard, Hearthfire, Dragonborn. And then it has 5 actual physical maps for all the different games. So you have Tamriel, Iliac Bay, Morrowind, and Cyrodiil, and of course Skyrim as well. I saw that and I'm just like, I love maps. I want this just for the maps.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this thing's going to be $300. It's going to come personally delivered to you in a gold lined case. And then I read that they're actually only charging $80 for this,
which is insane.
Which is great. If I had a PC that could actually play games, I might actually buy this. And
they just released the Skyrim Legendary Edition, which is Skyrim with the DLC in it, right?
Yeah.
And that was $70.
Yeah, it was $59.99 exactly.
Oh yeah, $60, right?
So
I mean, it's like, this is insane.
So that's going to piss off a lot of people. It's like, what? Well, I guess that came on consoles as well, not just the PC.
Yeah, it did, yeah. I don't think this is going to be available on console because they only have Oblivion forward on console.
Exactly. Well, they had Morrowind on the original Xbox as well.
Oh, they did? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Morrowind was on the original Xbox, but yeah, Oblivion and Skyrim were on this generation of consoles. But yeah, it's just like I kind of want to order this just so I can get the maps because I love in-game maps.
The box itself is gorgeous. I mean, there's like great artwork in it. And it comes in a very nice, looks like kind of like a hard cardboard box, so it's not flimsy. I mean, it just looks like it would display nice. Like this is only for a Windows-based PC. I would probably buy it just because the display is nice. It's like, well, I've got this really cool.
It looks really great.
Like a coffee table book,
I can just imagine that everybody that just bought the Legendary Edition on PC are really, really angry right now.
I'd be pissed. I would be.
Makes me wonder if Bethesda is going to do some sort of trade-in package. It's like, here, give us an extra $20 and we'll ship you a copy of this with all the maps. Since you bought this one, send in your game and we'll replace it or something. Yeah. It's crazy. So anyway, Elder Scrolls coming out with a great bundle, and it's not $1,000, which is actually kind of crazy.
If you think about it, right? I mean, I think the people who bought the Legendary Edition probably hadn't played Skyrim already, and if you're a hardcore Elder Scrolls fan, you had the DLC. This is probably for them, right? And it's I don't know if any real hardcore fan of Elder Scrolls is going to not have already played Skyrim by now because it's been out for a couple of years at this point with DLC. So, I mean, yeah, I would still be pissed, but I don't know if anybody who's just buying Skyrim now is going to want to go back to the original Elder Scrolls. Might be too much of a leap backwards, but still, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you for just a little bit more, you're getting the previous game, which at least is this kind of generation, so it would be worth playing, and then all the other stuff just to fill in some of the backstory. So, I mean, that would be really good. All right, moving on. This week, Ken Levine dropped a bomb saying, here's our DLC announcement. So Bioshock Infinite, we're going to be coming out with a DLC. We're going to be calling it the Clash in the Clouds, and it's out today. Boom, megaton bomb. And everyone's like, what? It's available today? That's crazy. And they got to play it. And then he came up and said that we're actually going to be doing 2 other ones, and we're going to announce them today. So they're calling it Burial at Sea. So it's going to be a 2-part DLC, and it goes back to where do you think it goes back, Jeff? You saw a little bit in the ending. Spoilers. Just the fact that they released this DLC is one huge major spoiler.
New York City.
New York City. Yes, exactly. They're going to Disneyland. But no,
wouldn't that be great? Going to Rapture.
Yeah, they're going to Rapture in this DLC. So the first one you play as Booker in Rapture, and then the second one you play as Booker in Rapture, and then the third one you play as her name, who I forgot right now. Elizabeth. I wanted to call her Emily for some strange reason, but no.
Close enough.
Very, very close. So Elizabeth as in Rapture as well. And Booker will be his normal badass, shooting people in the face, taking their bullets and stuff. But when you play as Elizabeth, obviously you're not a murderer, killer type person. So you are going to have to be stealthy, and you're going to have to avoid all conflict. And sounds interesting. For me, I paid the $20 for the season pass. So the Burial at Sea 2 parts are going to be $10 each. So there's the $20 that I paid. So I get the other one for essentially free. So that's probably what you heard people talking about is, oh, who cares? Who cares if it's horde mode? You get it for free. Yeah. But are you really buying 2 separate DLCs when they both take place in the same world? Like, it seems like a huge cop-out to me. It's like, oh, here we're gonna recreate Rapture, and then we're gonna have 2 storylines, and we're gonna sell them to you separately.
It's never good enough for you, is it?
No, it's not that it's not good enough for me. It's like they said that they were gonna have multiple story DLC packs. Well, this really is, to me, it seems like it's only one kind of story, and you play as both of the characters. Where in the game you played as both the characters together. Now you're just experiencing it separately. They're 2 different. Like, they could be 2 different stories. No, I understand. I understand what it is. I'm just saying it seems like a huge cop out when they said that they're going to have multiple story DLCs. You'd think that, okay, one looks at this part of the game, and then one focuses on this part of the game. This one is like, you're going back to Rapture, and the first one you get to play through it as the guy, and the next one you get to play through it as the girl. It's like, okay, I know the stories will be different and stuff. It seems different for a game that was so imaginative and had such a really interesting story. It seems almost like a cop out to me, where it's like we kind of ran out of ideas, so we're gonna go here because we don't really want to touch the main worlds, and have you go around or explore any other of the islands or anything like that. So I don't know.
And I think, okay, I don't want to like start an argument with you here, but I think you're really riding them hard for really what it's not a big deal. Like, I think you're being a little bit tough on them for no reason that I can see. I understand where you're coming from, and I know you're not like, but to imply that it's lazy
I didn't imply it was lazy. I said the setting, having both of them set in the same place, is a cop out. Definitely. It would be like if they focus both DLCs on one section of the game. So you're going to go to this floating area that is a theme park. We're going to set both DLCs there. It's like, well, I'd like to have different experiences in the game. I mean, I don't have no. He said one sentence, and now you think that it's the same DLC with 2 characters. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying
that's really what you're saying. Okay, tell me what you're saying.
That is not really what I'm saying.
Tell me what you're saying then.
Are we going to do this again in this episode?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the game is both set. Both of the games are set in Rapture. In the main game of Bioshock Infinite, you played as Booker and you had Elizabeth with you, and you went through the game that way. So instead of that in this game, now you're going to play through as Booker by himself, and then you're going to play through as Elizabeth by herself. That's really not what I was hoping for when they announced there was going to be story DLC. That's it.
Those are going to be two different stories.
But you're not grasping what I'm saying. My opinion here is I don't like this idea, and I'm free to not like this idea, Jeff.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. But the way I hear it is, it's like, okay, so Bioshock 1 was set in Rapture, and so was 2. So that's like the same game.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Well,
and I just like.
Oh.
It's just it's so weird to hear it. Like I don't know.
Yep. All right. That's your opinion, and that is fine. All I'm saying is that having both DLCs set in the same place, to me, just seems weak for a game that was so imaginative. That's it. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to think that.
I know. I think it's just better to reserve an opinion like that until you play it. You know, like...
Am I giving it a review right now and saying it sucks?
You kind of are.
No, I'm saying I'm disappointed. I'm free to be disappointed.
Well, what are you disappointed in? You haven't played anything yet.
I'm disappointed that they're both set there.
But I feel like that's such a stupid reason to be disappointed.
Well, you can feel that way. You can call me an idiot. You can call me an asshole. You can do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't change the fact that I'm disappointed at that announcement.
Okay.
Oh my God, man. Seriously. All right, let's move on with the rest of the show. More Bioshock stuff. Ken Levine is still trying to get Bioshock Infinite on the Vita, but he can't get it greenlit because there's not enough people with a Vita. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's every game is there. You know, so many companies want to put something on the Vita, but there's so few people who own one, except for suckers like you and I. You know, like what have you played on the Vita lately?
Nothing.
I
download all of the free games, and then I play through them a little bit, and that's about it. I'm waiting for PlayStation 4, and where I'm sure the Vita will be actually useful.
I'm hoping so. Yeah. Like I can't. You know, you can't live like the Vita's a $320 purchase. Is Farming Simulator really worth that? No, it's not. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I look at it all the time and I go, what the hell would I buy this thing for? On launch, you know? What a sucker.
Yep. All right, moving on. The Ouya has had some news, so we're going to cover some of the big ones right now. The first one that made me kind of happy is Order and Chaos, which is a really great RPG, an MMO that I played on my iPad, or actually I played on my iPhone first, but even before the iPad came out. They're porting it to the Ouya, or I believe they have ported it to the Ouya. And it's available for free now, so you can jump into it and play Order and Chaos Online. It's basically it's a MMO that is WoW rip off. So it looks like WoW, it plays like WoW, and that's okay. It's a lot of fun. So if you have an Ouya, which you probably don't, but if you do, you might want to check that one out. Also coming out is that 73% of owners have been said, it's been said that 73% of owners have yet to purchase a single game on their Ouya. So a lot of people are buying this box and playing the free demos and then not using it to actually buy content.
That's awful.
Which is huge, hugely disappointing. And kind of a let's get more people buying stuff on their Ouya. Today, I got an email because I was one of the Kickstarter backers, and in typical Ouya fashion, where they're grumpy and angry in their email, like the tone of it is like, yeah, this sucks, and that's not okay with us. That type of weird, like a Sega mentality from the Sega does what Nintendo don't kind of thing.
That's a really good way to describe it. It's a really good way to describe it.
It's really, really bizarre. But anyway,
kind of like a passive aggressive person.
They basically are giving everybody that Kickstarted, if they want, the ability to get some free store credit. So they're giving everybody a elite amount of money, 1337, because that is cool, I guess, in Ouya world.
$1,337.
No. $13.37. So $13. So you can't even buy their best game, which is Towerfall, with that money.
I feel like the only one people are playing now.
And
too.
it's and their email says, if you're annoyed with us, we hope this is the first step in winning back your love. Click here to get your redemption code, but only if you feel that you've had a kind of less than Ouya experience with us. It's just
what does that mean? A less than Ouya experience?
I don't understand.
Lloyd, have you had an Ouya experience with your Ouya yet?
I've had many Ouya experiences in my life, and not playing with the Ouya was one of them.
None of them involved my Ouya.
So I haven't actually clicked and got my redemption code, but I will do that because I'm not happy with my Ouya purchase. And I will be getting $13, which will probably sit on my account for a long time. I don't know what game I'm going to buy. There's really nothing.
How much did you put for the Ouya in the Kickstarter?
It was like $130, I think, for 2 controllers and the Ouya itself.
That's borderline, Like you get the console, 2 controllers.
Yep.
But that's borderline.
Yeah. If I would have known that you can use PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 controllers with most of the games, I would have done that. So, but I didn't. So I bought an extra controller, which I shouldn't have. So yeah, I can get $13, and if you own an Ouya that you kickstarted, you can get $13 as well. Thanks, Ouya.
Kind of.
Nintendo gave me more credit just a little while ago. They gave me $30. So
it's funny because in that MTV article, the one we just talked about how 73% of owners haven't purchased a single title yet, the CEO Julie Ehrman. They have like a poll quote here, and she says, "So far, it's better than we expected that 27% owners have paid for a game." I'm like, that's better than you expected? You had extraordinarily low expectations on your store. Like, if you go and watch that original Kickstarter video, this woman thinks like this is the wave of the future. And she says that 27% of people who have paid for a game is better than we've expected. That doesn't sound like the wave of the future.
But when you look at Android and you look at the number of people that download a game and then the percentage of people that buy a game once they've downloaded it, like if you look at any free-to-play kind of market, you're lucky to get 3% of people paying something for the game. So 27% is much more than 3%. So if she was aiming for that 3% range, they're doing really good. But yeah, when you only have like a couple 100,000 of them in the market, I mean, 27% of that isn't a lot of money.
I still don't understand how they're going to make any money. Like when the Kickstarter money runs out, how does that company make money if
they raised funding, so they made millions of dollars in venture capital funding. So that's how they're running the company right now. And
are they publicly traded?
No, they're just a company.
Okay.
So
they just have private investors.
Yeah, they have venture capital. So they go out and they try to raise a round of venture capital, and VCs come and ask for a certain percentage of their money, of their company, and they give them a big stack of cash.
I wonder how much they own. I wonder how much she owns of the company.
I'm sure they have controlling share. Otherwise, they would lose their company. So I'm pretty sure they're smart about that. But yeah,
I'm really curious to see what their valuation of their own company is. Like, I wonder how much they think it's worth.
Yeah, good question.
I wonder if that figures anywhere out there. Probably not. That's a private matter for them. But at that however somebody values their company is interesting to me, especially that company, because I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I doubt they'll be around in a year, but we'll see.
Oh, really? You don't think so?
No, not with what's happening on it. I hope I'm proved wrong. I definitely hope I am because
if you bought one.
Yeah, because I kind of like it, and my kids enjoy playing games on it. So it's
and that's the thing, right? It's not a piece of junk, but it's borderline because of the online store. That's I think what's holding it back, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact that you have to sign up with a credit card is just stupid.
Yeah, so you should have or not gift cards, but like a prepaid card.
Mm-hmm.
It's sit next to the Farmville cards in a Future Shop.
Well, they have prepaid cards, but you just can't buy them anywhere. That locally, I can't find them. Maybe if you have Ouyas in stores around you, but I don't have. I kickstarted mine, So if it would have come with like a $10 voucher, that would have been great because I would have punched in the code and I would have never had to give them my credit card. But as it is right now, they have my credit card, which I don't like because I don't know what that company is. And they swear a lot and say angry things in their emails. So I don't know what kind of company they actually are. Yep.
So weird.
All right. Well, I think that's going to about do it for news this week, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, chat room, for coming out yet again and keeping us entertained while we talk about stuff and helping us while Jeff basically lost his internet connection a couple times while he was trying to fix things. So
how is it now?
It's horrible.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It looks like you're muddy. Like it looks like you're 7 pixels.
Oh, that's actually how I look in real life. So
okay.
It looks fine. That's
right,
in HD.
It looks perfect.
That's me in HD.
All right, guys. We want to hear from you guys. Head on over to vgpodcasts.com and let us know what you think of the show. Email us, vgpodcasts@gmail.com, or call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. We do this almost each and every Friday night at 10 p.m. Central. So check out our recording schedule over at vgpodcasts.com/live. There's a nice little widget on the side that shows you when shows will be recorded. So if you want to come and join us live, we had about 15 people come out throughout the recording of the show. If you want to be one of those people that we refer to and make jokes about while we're recording the show, please do head on over to vgpodcast.com/live and let us know what you think. All right, guys.
The chat room is brutal. You cannot have can't have a low self-esteem or if you don't have a sense of humor, you shouldn't show up.
Exactly.
It gets rough in there.
Yep.
Rough.
It's the mean streets.
Sinister is what I'm talking about.
All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us. We will see you in about a week's time. Take it easy and go play those games.
Let's get started.